Do you think Stroud has a bounce back year in him? He's the highest ranking QB left on the board at this point. Or do you kind of think he was last year?
This is one of those total coin flip things where last year left a pretty bad taste because last year, you remember, that was MVP talk, and the hype train got a little crazy with him. I don't know if I trust it yet. I think we should key in on a good tight end value now. And I think we can get a third QB later that can put up, that might be a little bit more consistent. I think that's.
I agree. I think we're okay with Burrow and Mahomes. They do have the same bye. That's why that Mahomes click was a bad one. That accidental Mahomes unintentional. But I do agree that we can find another QB to kind of bridge that bye week, and it is definitely time to start looking at tight end. Although I don't love what's left there right now. Now we got, I'd say probably Ferguson's the best option. I don't like Jonnu on Pittsburgh. I don't think they're going to throw enough. Maybe Ferguson. All right, I'm on the clock. Let's see, what's the top of the? You know what I'm going to do here? I'm gonna press my luck one more time at tight end. I think Luther Burden has a chance to be a really big value here, and I'm going to take him at receiver. And now I think that gives us some good depth at the position. What do we got? 6. Okay. Now I think we're gonna have to take tight end here. Let's see. I'm looking at. I think Ferguson's probably our play here. The Dallas tight end. Let's see. Who I think is kind of sneaky too, but we might be able to push and get him later. I think Strange could, and these are two guys I like later: Okonkwo and Mason Taylor, as kind of cheaper value guys. All right, I'm on the clock. We're just gonna go Ferguson. He's the best on the board. Let's do it.
I think that's a safe bet too.
Yeah, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna try to build some upside in, because he's he's not going to be a top 5 tight end. I don't think that's really in his range of outcomes, but I do think he's a guy that can pop off for a big week. So I like having him in there. I think he's a decent player. Now I'm just going to try to backfill with some upside here. We have, let's see, what are we up to? 13. So we have, I think, we have 7 more picks. These drafts, 20 rounds, so they take a little while. Let's look what's at the top of the chart.
Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your dream team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count towards your quest for a share of $15 million. Let's see. In terms of QB3, if we're still keeping an eye on that, I think Geno's going to put up solid numbers.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see. Geno is the top, and then it gets Geno's a clear best QB on the board right now, because then Rodgers, is certainly past his prime. I think he's fine for a QB3. And then you're looking at Richardson. I don't even think he's going to necessarily start, as we were talking about. I think Jones, Wilson will probably get benched. He'll start. Who I don't hate is Tyler Shuck. I don't even know if I'm saying that right. The New Orleans guy. I think they drafted him with the idea of starting him this year and see what he is. And then if he stinks, they tank for Arch Manning. But if Rodgers is available right here, I think I'm just going to take him. It's not sexy, but with both of our quarterbacks having the same bye, I want to kind of lock in somebody who I think is going to be a starter. And we know Rodgers is going to start there. And at least he gives you like some floor. Like it's definitely not a sexy pick drafting Aaron Rodgers in the year 2025, but I think with the way the board fell and with the kind of freaky accidental Mahomes pick, we kind of got to find a QB in there that works bye weeks with us. Let's see, is there anybody ahead of him there at the other positions that you think is like a must draft that you think we would really be like screwing up by missing out on?
In terms of upside, I did like the Strange pick.
Yeah,
I do think that there is.
Someone just took Rodgers, so you know what? Oh, no, someone just took Strange too. Wow, we are getting sniped left and right today. All right, you know what? I like Trey Benson. I think that's a guy who I was kind of high on coming out. James Conner's a solid running back, but is getting up there a little bit in age. So I'm going to grab Benson here. We still got to try to find a third quarterback, and we got to get some depth at tight end. But I think we're looking pretty solid at wide receiver. I think we're looking pretty solid at running back. Like running back, just I'll run down the team quickly. We got Burrow at QB, JT, Mason, Jefferson, T. Higgins, Jameson Williams, Ferguson as the starting tight end, then Addison in the flex. On the bench, we got Mahomes, Etienne, Charbonnet, Bateman, Luther Burden, and Trey Benson with, I believe, 6 picks left to make here. So we got to add some tight end depth, add a third quarterback, and then just try to find some upside darts at the following receiver positions.
Oh, looks like we're on the clock.
Yep. There we go. All right. Did I get him? Jalen Wright. Okay. So Jalen Wright is another guy. That was right as the
yeah, that was
I'm not going to talk and get drafted yet on this one, but we got him in there. All right. So I'm yapping. I'm running down the team and almost missed the pick, but we did get right. I like Wright. He is a guy who ran a blazing 40 coming out of Tennessee, and Miami's a kind of tricky team because if Tua is healthy, they are an awesome offense. Like if Tua is healthy, then Tyreek's going too late, then A-Chain's going too late, then Waddle's going too late. But as soon as Tyreek got hurt, the whole offense went to crap. And I could see like one concussion and they're basically in tank mode. So I think Wright's the kind of guy they're going to play regardless. Like 2 years ago, they got 20 touchdowns out of their second back in Raheem Mostert. Now, I don't expect 20 touchdowns out of Jalen Wright, but I do think he's a talented guy that would be getting like the 14th or 15th round, whatever it was there. Like super late. I think there's a lot of upside relative to where he's being drafted. All right, so now we got to pay attention here. We're coming up again. The clock's moving quick. Wow, there must be a few auto drafters in here, which is like because when someone's like on auto draft, it just goes quickly. It picks automatic. I like a Conquo there as a potential tight end pick. Mm-hmm. I think. Let's see
some of the other tight ends too.
Yeah. Let's do that. This mouse is kind of wonky. All right, a Conquo. Damn, this is ugly. You know who I really like? I like Juwan Johnson. I think is sneaky too. The New Orleans tight end. He was actually on I believe he was on the Millionaire Maker winner last year. He was the highest scoring tight end in Week 17, surprisingly last year. And he's a guy who's always been pretty surprisingly productive. All right, I got him in the queue. Let's see if there's anybody else, if we can wait on him. Yeah, I think we could wait on him. Who is there? You know what? Pop Douglas. Do we take – I like Pop Douglas. I think he's a pretty decent player for New England. Or Keenan Allen is kind of risky because he's good, but he's not on a team yet. But you know what? I'm just gonna,
he's going to be on a team.
All right, I'm going to go Pop Douglas here. But I do think – there's some benefit to take because Keenan Allen. We saw this. See, the very next pick, the guy took Keenan Allen. We saw this happen All right, are we up again at tight end? Just about. Let's see. Okay, who do we have? I'm going to go Juwan Johnson. It's I think he's an underrated guy. All right, why is this? All right, all right, try to click that. There we go. Okay, so I think he's a dude who's in that New Orleans offense. There's not a ton. There's Olave, who's concussion prone, Raheem Shaheed, who's coming off an injury. I think there's targets to be had, and I think he's a guy, kind of a guy who can be a sneaky productive tight end. So I think in what was that here, the 17th round, I think you could do worse than Juwan Johnson as a tight end too. Now,
absolutely. Maybe we should look at what are the QB3 options that we have left? I know the slim pickings now.
Yeah, they're pretty gross. I think I kind of fumbled the bag on this one. We could go Russell Wilson and hope he keeps the job until week 10, or you can get by and just be like, you know what, we're gonna eat a 0 week 10 and hope it doesn't at quarterback and hope it doesn't cost us. But I think I think it's worth taking Russ and banking on him potentially having the job. And I think he'll give you a few like usable weeks at the start of the season too. Did Russ just go? Yeah, Russ just went. This room is QB thirsty. All right, let's see.
No kidding. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, we were talking about, how that Cleveland offense ran when Flacco was in. I don't know if I see him starting in week 10 though.
No, you know what? At this point, it's you don't like to do this, but I think we're just going to have to eat that bye week. So I think we're going to get enough. We don't need another quarterback other than that week with Mahomes and Burrow. We should get enough production out of quarterback that I don't think it makes sense here to take a guy that's going to not start and you're going to eat a lot of zeros. So let's see what we have. Let's see. All right. So we got 3 picks left. I think we're going to go 1 running back, 1 receiver, and 1 tight end, 1 more tight end. All right. What do we got coming up? All right. Let's see. I kind of think the Giants tight end, Trey Johnson, is kind of sneaky. Like, I think he's a dude who, if you remember 2 years ago, he completely like dominated the combine, had one of like the highest like RAS scores, like relative athletic scores ever posted by a tight end. And all the beat reporters for the Giants like say that the team loves this guy and wants to really find a role for him. So I think if he doesn't get taken in the next pick, I think he's there. So I'm going to go him as our 3rd tight end. I think that
I fully expected him to get taken because every time that we've really focused on a player, every time we start making a good argument towards a player, somebody else takes them.
Yeah, that has been the case. All right. So now we got 3 tight ends. It's not the sexiest tight end room, but I do think we've got like the solid veteran in Ferguson, kind of the sneaky Johnson, multiple Johnsons over there at tight end in the late. So now we just got, I think a running back and a receiver are the way to go here as we come down.
I kind of, I'm a big fan of the Rams this year. Blake Corum might be someone worth keeping an eye on.
Yeah. I mean, he's a guy that everybody loved last year. I drafted a ton of him. You know what? I'm going to roll with it. I'm going to do Blake Corum here. That's going to be our final running back. If anything happens with Kyron, in the 19th round here, we're just throwing darts. No, you're not getting anybody that's a sure thing. So someone like that who's got like contingent value, like if anything happens to Kyron Williams, Corum could be the beneficiary. I'm going to take him here. I think I'm going to go receiver with the last pick. I'd love to try to, let's see, somebody that is, I don't know if Jalen Royals, I'd love to get a KC guy because we don't have anybody that Mahomes is throwing to, but I think he probably already went. Let's see. Are you seeing anybody out of these bums at the end of the? Two teams kind of interesting for the Rams. He is what he is. He's a 160-pound guy, but they did pay him. Surprisingly gave him like $10 million this offseason. Tesla's kind of an interesting rookie. You know what? I think that's who I'm leaning right here. He's a guy out of Arkansas who was like, didn't get a lot of playing time. Like he didn't have a lot of numbers in college, but he was like a height speed freak. And then completely dominated the combine. And like, he was a guy that like a lot of best ball people thought would be like an interesting, like, 6th or 7th round pick, like somebody that a team might like take a chance on. Detroit took him in the 3rd round, like shocked people. So they obviously saw something in him that caused them to really surprise everybody and take him that high. And I think he is another interesting like run back because we have Jameson and we have all these Minnesota guys and they play in week 17. So I think for a 20th round pick, I think he's kind of interesting there. I'm kind of looking at, no, Royals is still there. That's what I'm going to go with because the rookie out of for KC, because we don't have anybody to stack with Mahomes right now. So let's see, assuming Royals gets to me. At the way things are going tonight, I don't think they probably won't, but
I don't know. We're fully in the like dollar store, section of the receivers. So hopefully nobody sees it.
We are shopping at the discount bin in Marshalls right now with this for this receiver room. But
hey, knock it all you want. I've gotten some good stuff out of that.
I have too growing up, for sure. Let's see if Jalen Royals, is it going to be Jalen Royals or Isaac Tesla as our 20th round pick, Mr. Irrelevant? There it is. We filed in the 20th round. We got who we were targeting. So that is it. A complete lineup. I honestly can't say I feel like it's a $2 million lineup, but hey, there you go. I'm going to stay just for a second here. I'll run it down one time. We got Burrow, Jonathan Taylor, Mason as the first 2 running backs, then Jefferson, T. Higgins, Jameson Williams, Ferguson, Addison in the flex, Mahomes by accident, but we did stack him at the end. Etienne, Charbonnet, Bateman, Burden, Trey Mason, Wright, Pop Douglas, 2 Johnsons, your guy Blake Corum in the 19th round. And I close it out with Jalen Royale with cheese, the dollar store. Marshall's discount bin 20th round pick. So I think not bad for a first stream of doing this. Try to pick while talking through it. But what do you think?
I like it. I like our starting lineup, I think, is pretty solid so far. We didn't really have anybody that's just like extremely risky, which is good. I feel like everyone that we have is going to put up pretty consistent numbers from the starting lineup. We have a lot of interesting dart throws kind of later on. I think it's a pretty solid team, honestly.
Yeah, having 2 quarterbacks with the same bye is a problem. But if we could survive that, I mean, most to be honest, most leagues are not decided by like 20 points or less. So I mean, knock on wood, like that's what you'd project your quarterback to be. So hopefully we tried for a 3rd quarterback, but every time we want to take somebody, they kept getting sniped, and I missed the pick and took Mahomes by accident. So I wouldn't have normally paired him with Burrow, but you know what? That could make this a little bit unique, because not a lot of people are going to look to pair those 2 guys, have those guys on the same team. So you know what?
It could be even worse. We could have Kenny Pickett on the team. I don't know. We could have.
Yeah.
I'm happier with the route we went down.
Yeah, if you're going to screw up, you might as well go with one of arguably the GOAT in Mahomes. So I think it's not a bad team. Maybe we'll get a few dollars out of it.
Let's hope so. Yeah, I'm liking it. I love the whole process went by pretty quickly too, and pretty seamlessly. I must say, this is my first experience with Best Ball, and yeah, very much enjoyed it, and excited to do my own draft here.
Yeah, man, get on there. It's they're running a lot of great promos right now, and I would say my advice would be to do this right away and start off. You do a $20 millionaire maker here. They're going to give you a free one, and then I would say max the $3 tournament with the 100 grand up top, because that is only a 20 max tournament. So for $60, you can have as many teams as anybody in the field, and you get a nice little variety of teams that you could sweat throughout the year. So I would say hammer at that first and take your free millionaire maker when you get your second one, and then give it a whirl from there.
Football season is right around the corner, and there's no better way to lock in your fantasy dominance early than with Best Ball on DraftKings, where you draft once and ride your roster all season long. And right now, DraftKings is giving all customers a can't-miss offer. Enter a lineup in the $15 million Best Ball contest for just $20, and you'll score another Best Ball ticket to play free for a share of $15 million, giving you a second shot to win big. It's easy. Just draft your dream team once, no weekly management required, and let your top scorers automatically start each week. Across the whole season, every breakout star, every clutch play, every touchdown will count towards your quest for a share of $15 million.
Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or 877-8-HOPE-NY / text HOPE-NY 467-369, New York. Help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org, Connecticut. 18 plus in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Eligibility restrictions apply. Void where prohibited. One per customer. Must enter a lineup into the NFL Best Ball $15 million headliner contest by 9/4/25. $20 entry fee. Bonus issued as one ticket to NFL Best Ball $15 million headliner contest. Ticket reward is site credit. Valid for use only on NFL Best Ball $20 million headliner contest. Ticket reward is single use and expires on the sooner of 30 days, 720 hours, or contest lock. See terms at https://www.draftkings.com/NFL-bestball. Ends 9/4/25 at 6:20 p.m. ET9. Sponsored by DK.